All right, folks, welcome back. So today we're going to compare bear markets in Bitcoin going back to 2011 to the present so that we can find places in time where we can expect a change in trend. So, like and subscribe if you feel that this information is beneficial to you, because by the end of this, you will see how important it is to do technical analysis based on the past. So, many books and writings and very influential people have stated in the past that the past is but a repetition of the future, meaning that it's likely that in the future we would see a reoccurring circumstances. Is that the case? Well, let's go take a look at it, because as you know, I'm that kind of guy. So let's go over here and let's go take a look at our last bear market here. I think I got the right tool on there. We'll know right away if I. Let's just take it to our breakout. How's that? Let's just take that and we'll just bring this over. Oh, Stormgame doesn't like all the tools I'm using. So let's just have a look and see what this is going to say. So we're going to line up our last top, which we just saw, and we're going to see how well it actually is going to work with us. So this is our topping area. You can see that we had a bottom area within this band here. I'm just going to move this down so we can see a little better here. And so in these wicks down here, we did have something here. However, that being stated, our top came in right here, right at this wick peak here. And again, this moved down and sideways, and we had this sideways move to our last top right here, where we had this tumultuous turn down and ended here on this campaign. But of course, ours didn't end till here, and it's right on time with this market cycle. So, expecting that, we have a bit of a top and a breakout here in this cycle. We didn't have that so much here. We had a bit of a top here, our August 15th. We talked about that in the previous tutorial. So our next determination is we could either have a top here in this beginning to mid August or October, or we could potentially see a spike top. Is that going to happen? Well, not necessarily, but it sure is possible. We're just looking at the determinations at this point. So from that, I guess we are going to look at our next possible bottoms and tops. And we talked about February of this year where we could see another bottom, and we have this on this older cycle. So, and it's possible it can continue on into April, and we could have our next June top, and we could have a pandemic bottom again back into July 23, where I actually call for another bottom in our February and our July period. So let's just take a look and see if that's still around. So this one. So we'll just hide that for a second. Stormgame is not happy with all my tools, having to show you all this stuff. So our determination is that we're saying here we go again. Stormgame never likes the tools that I use. And I'll be leaving Stormgame in the next few months and looking at a different site. Okay, so we were saying that our next possible pullback would be, right, again, we were talking about this November period here. Where was that? So into our November, December here. We have a top here. And in this December period here, we have this sideways and this capitulation to move down. And right in here, we have these February bottoms, which we're talking about as possible here. Then from there, we would move up and have our next possible bottom in this July period right here. And we've certainly stated that that is our 20 and 27 month period. We've stated again from our secondary top that we have another confluence of July. So we're going to really pay attention to that. So that's our one scenario. So let's go take a look at our next bear market, and let's see what we can learn from that one. All right. So how was that market here? We just determined this one. Let's take a look at what this one is going to say to us. All right, so we'll go from our most recent top. We'll go to our breakout. Yeah, Storm Gang doesn't like my stuff. All right, so we'll catch on to this here. All right, so we'll move this up here. Storm Gang, it's just incredible. Definitely going to get a different trading platform. Not exactly happy with Storm Gang. I promote their channel and I still don't get any recognition from them. So I'm going to have to go somewhere else where you get recognized. What's that going to look like? Well, I'll show you in the coming weeks and months. All right, so we're going to line this up now. And let's just do another determination. So here's our tops. We've got our capitulation bottoms here from our older areas here. Storm Gang, get lost. All right, stopped flashing. So we have our capitulation bottoms here. You'll note that it's not kind of lining up exactly, but it's really close. It's eerie. So we had this last move up where we had our tops here, which is coinciding very well. And then we had these deep moves down. And this blue deep move down lines up pretty much precisely with this spike down. This continued to move down this market. Ours moved sideways and made a capitulation top here and is coinciding with this swing top here in our previous cycle. Then, of course, we had another abrupt move down where we started to break away, and our bottom came in again. Look at this, right again on our market cycle here with our previous market cycle. Let's have a look at the swing top here. Well, look at that, folks. Right there, guys. Look at that. Another swing top. So where can we expect another swing bottom? Oh, look at that. Just like in our previous cycle. Then we're going to get what? Another swing bottom here. October 24th, I'm calling for a bottom, right, in our tutorials. Here's our next possible swing top, which is the November 28th. That would be perfectly on time with my tutorial on the prognosis for the next swing top. Here we go, January. We're going to get another swing bottom. And in February, we were talking about this again in our other market. We were saying that we could see, definitely see a February 23 bottom. And that certainly coincides with, what we can see here. So next swing top after that is up into this March area, which is a pretty tumultuous area coming into this next year with this great reset stuff that we still don't completely understand. So next, possible swing tops are into our May. We always have swing tops in May, just like we did right here, and then it fell off, right? So, and it again happened here too. May again fell down. So that market cycle right here, that could certainly play out no problem right here, and we swing right back down, have our little low again in our June mid June period, and then we make our way out and move up again. Possible swing top again the next November. So we were talking again that in this period here of November 23, we have September here for our bottom. So that would bring us right into our September bottom and then our next swing top November. It's possible. We're just making logical and sensible determinations based on the previous market cycles. That's all. So we're just going to be mindful of that. Is all this going to happen? Not necessarily, but we're really going to be paying attention to it. And on this channel, you can be sure that I'm going to be tearing this to pieces. But before we do that, let's move on and see how well our determination is with this. So, market bottoms here, coinciding, not too bad. Got a market peak bottom here. Then we had a top and a falling off. So, more or less coinciding. However, we had our little pitch bottom here. It's kind of not exactly the same amplitude, but we're looking for a comparison. So, another last swing top and then moves down. So, it's more or less coinciding here with this market cycle. So next swing top based on this cycle, October 17th. That's kind of late into the cycle. I'm calling for the October 2nd to the 10th. I've been laying that out in the previous tutorials regarding what my feeling is for that. I guess we're gonna move that out of the way. All right, storm gain. Oh gosh, it's just so lovely. All right, storm gain. So, moving this out of the way here, and we'll just move this as well so we can get a look at that. All right, storm gain, stop flashing. So we were talking about the fact that this October 10th here represents another swing top area, and I've been talking about this here, that we were talking about this October rally top and the lower top here. So is it possible? It's possible. In my second forecast, I call for it to either be a swing down or a possible, lower top again on this one. So is that going to happen? Well, it's possible. It's very possible, and we're going to be guarded for that. So, what's our next swing bottom going to be after that October? Well, it's saying down here for December. We get into this December period and we're going to sit down. So, I have a December bottom here. You can see that. It coincides with our secondary top here. So, the first top and the second top here, these two counts coincide quite nicely with this December. So, is that all going to happen? Well, we're not sure. It's just we're paying attention to these things. I'm like a scientist of nature. I like to delve into things like a hungry lion or a tiger. I like to tear things to pieces and chew on every single thing. Absolutely. So, if you find this beneficial to you, then subscribe, share it with your colleagues and your friends, and tear it to pieces. Leave a comment and tell me what you didn't like, or tell me what you would like to know, or just any kind of feedback would be kind of nice. It's nice to hear, that it was awesome, or it's nice. It's good to hear those comments, but I would really like to hear what it is that you guys are not sure of, or what you would like me to look into more deeply in that aspect for you to understand these things. So, just hit me up, leave a comment, and We'll go over it. Okay, so we've determined this is our second market cycle. I don't want to go too far out and start saying, by March 25, sure, we could get a breakout. Sure, we've got to get past these February 24 lows. Like we have to get by all this stuff. We have to get by all this stuff. And we have to get out of this. And our next market cycle is this July low. And of course, we've gone over this now. July here, and we got a July here. So let's go take a look at our third market determination. And let's just see, you know, is that really going to be what's happening? Let's go take a look. Now, in doing all this, it's just very speculative. However, I'm very guarded in my approach to how I deal with these things. So there's our second determination. We're now going to go to our very first one right here. So let's take a look at this market cycle here from this top. And let's just line it up. And let's just run it out to this capitulation bottom here. That seems fair. Oh, storm gain, flashing away again. It's warning me that I got too many tools on my screen. It always seems to happen when I'm always zeroing in on the price and the change in trend. It sure seems uncanny. I'm always so aware of these things. Okay, come on, Storm Game. Give me control of my screen. All right. So let's just move this into better perspective here. And we can maybe get a determination as to how this is going to look for us. All right. Let's just line that up right there. All right. So here we are. Let's take a real good look at this. Thank you, Storm Gain, for giving me back control of my screen. So we have our capitulation peak top here. We move down in this market cycle here, and you can see that coincides pretty darn good with the spikes that we've had in that previous cycle. And of course, it subsided right when we had this last capitulation in this area here. And of course, our next determination for a top coincides perfectly with our first market cycle, and this structure is intact. So what we're going to do is we're just going to move across. We're going to look across again. So we have a capitulation bottom here. Didn't quite. We have a bit of a bottom, but it didn't really happen until about here. And it coincides perfectly with that, as you can see. And that's that's pretty important for us to take a look at here. That was our last. It was our last maneuvers here. We. So from there, where could be our next? Well, there's our next bottom in here, and sure enough. But our marked peak here had a reverse correlation, and we moved up. And we moved up right to where we made a reverse correlation bottom on this structure and this market. So interesting. So just pay attention to, sometimes we can flip like this. We can have a reverse correlation, and Bitcoin is not going to do what it did in the past cycle, and it'll do the opposite. So this is what exactly had occurred. Now, also note that we had this capitulation swing bottom here, and then we moved up and we had our current resistance swing top, and it's coinciding perfectly with this. Now, is our next bottom coincided? It sure looks like it right here. Now, does that mean that we're going to head up and have a big move up? No, not necessarily. but there is some sort of change in trend in this November period. So I'm expecting that we could have a really big kick up and a change in trend. And I'm calling for a February bottom. As you guys all know, I've here in this on this object tree, we have where is it? Oh, here it is. So you know that I've been talking about this, and I've been stating that you have to be very patient with storm gain. It can uh, really drive you a little nutty. So here we go. So we were stating in the first market cycle here that we had a capitulation top in this February period. So that does coincide with a reverse correlation with our market bottoms that we're expecting in February. So is that going to happen? Well, not necessarily. Now, that's why we're going through all these three different bear market cycles, and we are, in fact, just trying to make a determination. Are these points all lining up, and is it something that we need to pay attention to? So before we move on, sorry, we will. We're going to take this one. We're going to line it up with this top here. As soon as Storm Gain allows us to have control again of our screen. So we've lined up our tops. Let's take a look at what's happening. So reverse correlation here. We have our swing tops and we have our reverse bottoms here. So interesting. So wherever there's a swing bottom here, there's a swing top. So I expect where there's a swing bottom here, there's going to be a swing top up here. So it sure looks like it. And then a little capitulation here. And then our move up. So is this going to state that by January, February, we have this swing top, swing bottom? Well, it's possible. We're just really going to pay attention to this because it looks like we're going to be getting into an area where some fast moves. We're going to go sideways and then potentially in this November period here, once we've made a bottom, which I've been calling for in my forecasts here, as we've been talking, I've been talking about these bottoms that can happen here. And is it going to come back to these low levels? Well, I mean, it's possible, and I'm stating that it can continue on till November 8th, and that just seems kind of, looking at this, we're making a determination that by November here, it changes and we get into a rapid move up. So, is that going to happen? Well, not necessarily, but on Beautiful Mind, we are certainly going to take a look at all of this. We're going to determine whether or not this is going to happen, and we're going to take all this data very seriously. I just wanted to lay that out, and go take a look at my September Bitcoin tutorial where I talk about this. And I also have a Square of Nine tutorial that I'm presently working on and will be releasing to you, and you can take a look at that. Anyways, it really helps my channel if you like and subscribe, and getting this information out to you is important to me. I feel that I'd like to help myself and others in paving our way through this technical, difficult cryptocurrency reset. Anyways, we'll see you on the next tutorial. Like and subscribe, and have a great day. Thank you for joining us.